Fast-paced pristine scientific journals, Nature, Science, scientists and labs, and then a sudden visual glitch or sound of breaking glass. What if I told you that 95% of the research papers published in the world's top scientific journals are garbage? Not just slightly flawed, but completely useless to the advancement of human knowledge. 95% of top SCI papers equals garbage? It sounds crazy, right? We are taught to trust peer review and revere high-impact journals. But behind the curtain of modern academia is a massive crisis of quality. Today, we're going to look at what actually makes a scientific paper worth publishing, why the system is flooded with academic waste, and why the people who are actually trying to push science forward are often ridiculed and suppressed. Part 1: What makes a paper worth publishing? Let's start with a fundamental question: what makes a scientific paper worth publishing? Modern academia will tell you it's a paper that follows the rules, satisfies peer reviewers, and aligns with mainstream consensus. But history tells us otherwise. Historical scientific rebels: Galileo, Einstein, Wegener. The ultimate criterion for a publishable paper isn't whether it perfectly matches the consensus. It's whether the author firmly believes in its correctness, especially when it challenges the mainstream dogma. Even if the perspective is eventually proven wrong, the paper is worth publishing because it sparks debate. When should a counter-consensus article be denied publication? Only when the mainstream scientific community can decisively prove the author wrong, with robust evidence that convinces both the public and the author. But what happens today? The mainstream establishment simply ignores the problem. Take time series anomaly detection, TSAD. Recent research shows that at least 95% of papers in this field are deeply flawed, using wrong metrics and flawed datasets. And how did the scientific community react when this was pointed out? Did they offer counterarguments? No. They put their heads in the sand and ignored it. Part 2: The myth of the amateur scientist. When someone challenges the mainstream today, the establishment is quick to label them as a fringe or amateur scientist. In Chinese, there's a specific term for this: mink. Independent/amateur scientist. Accompanied by a cartoon of a crazy scientist, which gets stamped out by a big red X. The stereotype is that these are uneducated people with wild imaginations. But this is a massive misconception. Many of the people challenging the consensus today are highly credentialed professionals, professors, and PhDs. Take the field of microwave absorption. Professor Yulu, a scholar with a PhD and a rigorous foundation in wave mechanics and quantum chemistry, along with other veteran professors, published a systematic series of SCI papers dismantling the mainstream impedance matching theory. How did the mainstream respond? Did they write brilliant papers proving Professor Lu wrong? No. They couldn't. Because the mainstream scientists often lack the theoretical depth to refute these claims. So, instead of a scientific debate, they resorted to administrative suppression, like canceling academic accounts. Accounts being banned or suspended. If mainstream scientists cannot theoretically refute dissenters, the shame lies with the establishment, not the dissenters. If you can't prove them wrong with science, you have no right to suppress their publications. Part 3: What is a garbage paper? So, if heterodox, counter-consensus papers are valuable even when they contain errors, what exactly makes a paper garbage? A garbage paper is one written not to find the truth, but simply for career survival. It's written to secure academic titles, get tenure promotions, and win project funding. These papers meticulously conform to the mainstream consensus. They are safe. They use trendy buzzwords. They cite the right people. Even if they have no mathematical errors, they are completely useless to scientific progress. Worse, they dress up trivial, incremental tweaks as groundbreaking innovation. This borders on academic fraud. Yet, this exact type of paper makes up 95% of what is published in modern academic journals. Part 4: The real culprits, peer review and SCI. Why is the system flooded with this garbage? People usually blame the publish or perish culture. But that's just a symptom. The real culprits are two things: peer review and the SCI Impact Factor. Peer review was originally designed to filter out bad science. But today, it acts as a gatekeeper against disruptive science. If you submit a truly revolutionary idea, peer reviewers who are entrenched in the mainstream consensus will reject it. Meanwhile, institutions assume that if a paper has a high SCI impact factor, it must be a major innovation. So, funding and tenure are awarded based on these metrics. Nobody actually reads the papers to see if they are right or wrong anymore. Science has stopped being a quest for truth and has become a highly optimized academic video game. Part 5: Redefining Scientific Integrity. Modern academia believes that publishing an incorrect article destroys scientific integrity. They believe peer review and impact factors are the guardians of truth. They have it completely backward. These systems don't protect science, they modify it. They create a vacuum where bold, risky ideas are killed, and safe, fake innovative garbage flourishes. True scientific integrity requires the courage to embrace the unknown. We must realize that errors are the essential nutrients for scientific progress. Publishing an incorrect article is not a catastrophe. What is a catastrophe is an illusion of quality control that enables mediocrity and allows 95% of our scientific literature to become a graveyard of useless, consensus-driven garbage. Major breakthroughs, like microchips or AI, do not come from the safe, risk-averse pages of prestige journals. They come from people willing to be wrong, willing to be called amateurs, and willing to challenge the world. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, I highly recommend reading the essays by Professor Yu Lu on Substack, linked in the description below. They completely deconstruct the myths of modern academia. What do you think? Is peer review broken? Are we unfair to independent scientists? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who cares about the future of science. Keep questioning the consensus, and I'll see you next time.